My name is Ashley Tickell, Category Manager, Eyewear. It's really important that we have a wide range of goggles, spectacles and other eyewear protection, as in different environments and in different applications you need different styling on products. What's important is that there's a huge choice out there. So at the same time as giving choice, what we don't want to do is give too much choice and confuse the customer. So we work very hard with leading brands and leading manufacturers to have available a good range of product at good price points, ranging from entry price point through to good, better and best. Sustainability has come on in leaps and bounds as an area of focus, both for end users in choosing product and for us ourselves. It's important to recognise that in the main we are supplying construction, utilities industries, and the impact in doing what they do on the environment means that they have to work really hard to reduce their emissions and contributions damaging the planet elsewhere. We can absolutely play a role in that by identifying very early on where certain brands bring new technologies to market. So for example, we have Bolle, and they now have spectacles where the frame is made from recycled nylon fishing nets. So that's great. One thing that is important to realise in protective eyewear is that polycarbonate is actually plastic. It's probably the least planet-friendly material out there. Unfortunately, in those lenses, you can't have recycled material, so we have to look elsewhere. And one of the areas where we're also looking is in the packaging and the reduction of plastic packaging. So again, Bolle have developed a range of packaging which replaces the plastic bag, which replaces heavy-duty cardboard, and we look at the units of measure that products are bought in so that the cost impact is amortised. And we are working with some very large end users at the moment who absolutely love this idea, and that will progress and develop through time. First thing we recognise when customers are working to a budget is that doesn't necessarily always mean the cheapest product. We have a phrase, and it is used in the industry, which is cost in use. What we can do once the customer has identified the levels of protection they require is we can work with them to give them the appropriate product that won't necessarily wear out as quickly and will need to be rebought again. So for example, in eyewear, you can have a very simple, basic, still compliant eyewear, but won't have any scratch resistant coatings. And if they're working in a harsh environment, it will scratch up straight away. Those spectacles will need to be thrown away and replaced. If the customer spends a little bit more money and has what's called a K&N rating, where the product has been tested to have abrasion and scratch resistance, they will last a bit longer, well, quite a lot longer actually, depending on what's happening. And that, although it's a higher initial price, can actually be better for the customer in the long run and actually come in possibly under budget compared to just buying the cheapest product. Wellbeing is a really important development and hopefully will continue to be so and become even more important as time goes on. It's important to understand that it is about comfort for the wearer, and it's also for people who wear prescription. We shouldn't exclude them. Many people who have their own glasses are offered as a piece of safety equipment an overspec, which then has the impact resistance. Yes, meeting the standard, that person is protected. However, from a well-being point of view, it's not really the best outcome because you're looking through a double lens, you have eye strain, it's not really comfortable, so the chances are the person may take it off and then not be compliant anymore. So in terms of well-being for eyewear, one of the big things that can happen where you can make a big change quickly is to give proper safety standard product as a prescription lens. Prescription eyewear comes about through working with one of our key partners. In fact, it's our lead partner brand, Bolle, and have the ability to allow an end user to go get their eyes tested, get all that information. There are then some additions that can be done in terms of lens coatings, just as we would for a normal pair of glasses. However, in this instance, they will be absolutely to the safety standard. This service can be managed through the web portal, which is great because you can go in at any time and see records, and you can see what's been assigned to who and when and where. It's really important to us that our customers stay PPE compliant, and the first keystone in that is that they are supplied with compliant products. It may surprise people to know, but there is a lot of counterfeit product out there on the market, unfortunately. From our own perspective, we absolutely ensure 100% that every product we supply is fully compliant. We do that through being members of the BSIF, working very closely with Sartre. In our Far East office, sourcing office in Asia, we have QA/QC functions, we audit our factories, and we audit further down the supply chain. We have then incoming QC checks at our import centre in Wales, where we will look and ensure that all the paperwork matches, all the markings are correct, and they have been manufactured to the correct standards. Of course, for the product to be compliant, it needs to be worn and needs to be worn in the correct manner, and therefore it's really important that when choosing product, it is something that the wearer is going to wear. So again, would stress not going for the cheapest option, for it may be worth paying what really amounts to a little bit more money for them to feel much more comfortable wearing that product, and thus ensuring full compliance. The advice I would give to end users as a tip or advice is to absolutely ensure that you do a thorough risk assessment of the work environment. This will then lead and identify the risks involved, and we can then match product to standards to meet that risk. It is important not to skip that stage. And again, really, you need your workers to be wearing the product. So make sure that we do match the product to the risk. So if someone is working in an environment where they're going from a warm environment to a cold environment, or vice versa, and the lens steams up, then let's supply something that has that coating that will inhibit that happening, thus ensuring that the person then doesn't say, oh, it's steamed up, I'll take the glasses off, and then they're no longer protected.